Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my Marquee matches reviews, and I'm just going to get right into the video. Now we're looking at everything TLC related, because at the time that these came out, they would have hyped people up to want to watch TLC, which obviously made sense because I don't think the WWE at this time is really doing a whole lot to hype you up to want to watch TLC. So this was a good way to do it, but now obviously since TLC has come and gone, I'm just kind of doing this for the hell of it. But let's get right into today's match. This was hosted by Charlie Caruso, and this match is from TLC, which stands for Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, 2010. It was a tables match. It was a tag team tables match, actually. It was the Divas of Doom versus Lay Cool. This was the first ever tables match in women's wrestling, at least WWE wise, because I'm assuming they probably had them in TNA or something like that. I would imagine TNA has had a tables match before, but obviously because WWE doesn't like to reference TNA, at least at the time, they, not going to tell us that type of stuff. But what it is. I mean, it was a pretty big deal that they were having the first ever tables match, but this was still at the time where the women's division was not being treated very well at all. They had referred to them as divas from that point going forward, and we obviously talked about how bad that was. They weren't featured in the big spots on the show. They were, in like 2-minute matches on the card. And then obviously they were just hiring the models at the time, because so there's that type of stuff. But this was, I thought, a nice change of pace. You would have glimmers of hope sometimes that you would hope that the women's division would be utilized better, and this was in that glimmer of hope because this was kind of like, for a change, the Divas division actually got to get showcased a little bit. Around this time, though, for some strange reason, they were very high on Lay Cool. Like, they ran the Divas division in 2010. They pretty much were the focus of the Divas division. I believe they were pretty much champions all year. Like, they would lose the belt, but they would, lose it for like only a couple of weeks, whether that was the women's or the Divas championship. I don't know what the WWE's obsession was with Lay Cool, but it was a very annoying act, and I get that, it was heel, but to me, this was like go away heat, not actual heat where I want to see them get booed and stuff. So it all started with this feud where Natalya got inserted into this, which I actually thought was nice. They were giving Natalya like a nice little push. And she would try time in and time out to win the Divas Championship, but Lay Cool always would find a way to leave with the Divas Championship, because this is when they had just merged the Women's and Divas Championship and got rid of the Women's title, and it became the Divas title. I watched this match back, and that Divas Championship design was awful. I'm really glad they got rid of that, because that was just an awful title design. That's got to be like one of the worst in professional wrestling history. But, finally Natalya would win the championship at Survivor Series, but then in a handicap match against Lay Cool, but then obviously, Lay Cool would continue the attack, and eventually Beth Phoenix, who was making her return because she had been taken out by Lay Cool after losing her women's title in a handicap match on SmackDown, because in real life Beth Phoenix was hurt, so they needed to get the title off her, but they utilized it in an angle. So, yeah, Beth Phoenix made the save, and it led to this match pretty much. Lay Cool won the Battle Royal to become the best women's wrestlers, of the year or whatever, which obviously made sense because they were the only one really featured at that time. So, yeah, pretty much it led to this tables match. And there really wasn't a whole lot of storyline itself going in, but that's basically it. Like I said, this was 2010. I mean, WWE wasn't doing very well with the storyline department. 2010 is probably one of the worst years in WWE history. So, what do you want from me? yeah, but you know, the match itself, I guess I'll talk about that. You had the commentary team of Matt Striker, Jerry the King Lawler, and Michael Cole. Watching this match back, I talked about it when I did the Survivor Series 2011, review with that Marquee match. Makes me hate hearing heel Michael Cole in commentary. It's the worst thing ever. So there's that. This was when he was like fully he was already in his heel mode, but this is when they were fully going with that Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler feud, and he was like fully going into his heel mode. It was annoying as hell. And I feel like I said, Michael Cole, no matter how good he is today, because of his heel work, I think it's ruined his commentary career. Obviously, there's other things that ruined his commentary career, but I feel like nobody takes Michael Cole really seriously as like a good commentator. So, yeah. Matt Striker, obviously, I thought was pretty good. He was probably the best commentator in the business at the time. Well, in WWE at the time. So, there's that. Lawler was Lawler. But yeah, let's talk about the match itself. This actually was a good match. Lay Cool, you could definitely see one of the best wrestlers in the world. You could see that they kind of were very sloppy and stuff. But I feel like they were able to be carried to a well-quality match with, Beth Phoenix and Natalya, who are very well-quality wrestlers. Obviously, Natalya was probably the best wrestler on the roster at the time, which obviously doesn't... and she's still there to this day, and I still feel like... Well, she's not the best woman today, but I still feel like that she's very underrated today. Beth Phoenix, obviously, was very impressive as well. So I feel like they were able to be carried to a good match. And, Beth Phoenix and Natalya started the match off dominant, where they did the body slam and body slam Lay Cool onto each other. And eventually they went and got that custom-made table of Lay Cool, where they would, because they would consider them the witches of the Divas division at the time. They were painted witches. But pretty much Lay Cool kind of dominated a lot of this matchup. They would knock Beth Phoenix off the apron, and she would land on the back of her head the first time, and she bounced Beth Phoenix head first off the table. They dominated Natalya a lot. There was one scary spot where Layla kicked Beth Phoenix through the ropes, and she fell out of the ring, and she landed on the back of her head. Very surprised she didn't get a serious concussion or something. She might have, because that was a nasty landing. And Beth Phoenix took a lot of bad bumps like that. And you can definitely see that's where Lay Cool kind of laughed. She would just... It was getting to the point where I wanted Lay Cool just to stop dropping Beth Phoenix on her head. They would throw in the post. They would throw outside the ring again. They would lay her out with a big boot. And they would do table teasers where Michelle McCool went for the Faith Breaker onto Natalya. Because I think that actually legitimately walked Beth Phoenix, because she really didn't do a whole lot in this match afterwards. And Beth Phoenix intervened. The Divas of Doom tried to pick up Layla and try to do the Luthez press. Not the Luthez press, but the... I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but the Gorilla Press Slam. That's what I'm thinking of. But Beth Phoenix broke that up and hit the big boot. I did like the spot where Natalya put Lay Cool into the double sharpshooter, because that was very impressive, and I think that was the first time she had done that. And obviously Lay Cool was tapping out, but it doesn't count because it's a tables match. You have to put your opponent through a table to win. And what I didn't like about this, though, is right afterwards, Lay Cool really doesn't sell the injuries all that much. They just kind of recover. They don't sell the fact that they were just in the sharpshooter for about 5 minutes or so. But eventually, Lay Cool tried to do a double superplex off the top turnbuckle, well, the middle turnbuckle, which is, I guess, the top turnbuckle on Natalya, but Natalya fights them off, pushes them off the, and goes to put him through the gimmick table that they set up. But it doesn't break. Now, I don't know if it was supposed to break and Lay Cool was just too light to go through the table, or the table just didn't break. and Natalya had to improvise and do the splash through the table, but I still thought it worked, and that pretty much was the finish of the match. It is actually, if you it's not like one of those matches I would recommend watching, but if you watch this match back, it is a good match. You wouldn't really like feel ripped off. You wouldn't be pissed if you missed this match ever. Like you could probably go on with the rest of your life as a wrestling fan and not watch this match, but it is a good Divas match. And maybe because I've of the state of like women's wrestling today and stuff, I've seen so many better matches. But I probably, if I had watched this at the time, I would have given this match a higher praise, because women's wrestling wasn't, at least in WWE, wasn't lighting the world on fire or anything. But so it is a well-quality Divas match for those standards. So I'm gonna give this 3 stars. I thought it was a good match. It wasn't anything special, but it was a good match. I think the only reason they had put this match as a marquee match, because in real life Natalya was having a tables match, so they wanted to do this to show the first ever tables match for the women in WWE. So there's that. Afterwards they celebrate. And obviously, I did kind of think it was funny that Charlie Caruso would say that they would set the fuel for the later on Women's Revolution, when that's really not what happened, because the Divas division was not even close to the Women's Revolution at this time. Like, they had not even like scratched the surface, because obviously they just kind of went back to the status quo. If you can make the argument that it got even worse in 2012, when like the Divas were having 2-minute matches on Raw. 2011 was even worse, when you would have like the Divas match and Michael Cole would just crap all over him. It was pretty damn bad. But so it was always kind of one of those cases where they would always take 1 step forward with the Divas division, and then it would be like 2 steps back. So I think that's why a lot of people didn't take, like, in 2015 when they announced like there was going to be a Divas Revolution, nobody took it seriously, because they thought that it was going to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And a lot of people, at least, the WWE machine, will tell you that the Divas Revolution started in 2015, but it really didn't. I would say, if you would have asked me, it started more like in 2016, like after the WrestleMania 32 match, when they made the Women's Championship, and they finally dubbed the Divas back to the women's division. That's kind of like when it started for me, and then they did like the first Women's Hell in a Cell match, Women's TLC match recently, the Women's Royal Rumble, All Women's Pay-Per-View, first ever Women's Main Event at like a big special. Obviously too, I mean, 2016 is really when it started, but obviously it was started to a lesser degree in NXT in 2013 when, the NXT brand was launched. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I would say the Women's Revolution really started. But, but obviously, when I look back, I'm kind of satisfied with where all these women are today. It's kind of a shame that I'm a little bit ashamed about where Natalya is today. Yes, she's still there, but now that, like, I feel like her time's kind of come and gone. If the women's division had been in the state it was now, and she was coming into the business today and stuff, she would have had a much better one. She would, because she's only had 1 women's title one, and it was in 2010, and didn't really last all that long. She had it from Survivor Series and lost it at the Royal Rumble in a 4-way match where she didn't even need the pin. Very disappointing. And yeah, that's just very disappointing. And Natalya, they would do like a lot of stupid shit with her before the Women's Revolution really started. And she's in a pretty good position now. They just recently, though, did a storyline based on her dad's passing, but it is what it is. But, she still can go, they still put her out there to have quality matches and stuff, and I feel like she's more of a good hand than anything else, so it is kind of sad, but that she couldn't come in now. Beth Phoenix obviously would be gone out of the company within a couple of years, and then I don't think she's wrestled since. And then obviously now does commentary here and there. I expect her to actually be on commentary for the Women's Royal Rumble this year. And then you have Laycool, who ended up breaking up after WrestleMania, and they did the whole bit where They had the no DQ match where Michelle McCool was forced to retire. Forced fired out of the company, but obviously Michelle McCool in real life ended up not wrestling anymore. And we haven't seen her lately in a wrestling capacity until the Royal Rumble in 2017. Actually, no, 2018. I believe she made like a one-off appearance at Evolution where she was in that Women's Battle Royal. At least I think so. I don't remember her being in it, but I believe she was in that match. And I expect her to be in the Women's Royal Rumble this upcoming year. Then you have Layla, who we haven't seen much of. She retired, I believe, in 2015, 16-ish. And hasn't been in the company since. I think it was 2015 she retired because, because she would have a pretty mediocre run as like Divas champion and all that. So that's pretty much this match. Like I said, 3 stars, really wouldn't miss much. As for the commentators, Matt Stryker, would be the commentator, and then obviously he would transition into like the host of NXT and eventually just a backstage interview, and then eventually obviously would leave the WWE in 2013, I think, or it might have been 14, and then eventually do Lucha Underground commentary, and he's pretty much been there since. He's done other commentary like CMLL and WCPW, now known as Defiant Wrestling. Michael Cole is still there. Thank God they turned him face. I mean, in 2012, kind of sucks though that it took Lawler's heart attack to finally turn Michael Cole face, but he's still like the current play-by-play guy. He would do both shows until the brand split in 2016 when he just commentates Raw. And Jerry the King Lawler would continuously do commentary. They would obviously have Michael Cole and Lawler would obviously have their match at WrestleMania 27, and then at Extreme Rules, and then at Over the Limit. And then he pretty much was just a babyface commentator up until 2016 when he would just mainly do SmackDown, and then became a panelist, and then now he's just part-time. He's going to be commentating the Royal Rumble this year, so all very exciting. But that's pretty much the end of this Marquee Matches review. Not the best video, but just there. Thank you guys for watching this video. And I forgot to mention too, Charlie Caruso is still there. She's in the exact same role in WWE, except now she works for both WWE and ESPN. But that's pretty much the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe this channel so people will... make sure you guys subscribe to this YouTube channel and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get notified about it. And make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM brothers and all the Talking 80 YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.